100 passes this year.
Plummer, the first thing he said to us the other day was, I'm addicted to adversity. Well, he's got it now, doesn't he, Joe?
He created the situation. Samari Roll did an excellent job. He was up in press coverage on Javon Walker. At the last minute, he just backpedals. He takes off. It's supposed to be a quick post and go. From a quarterback's perspective, when you see the corner back off, you can't throw the football. You just can't do it. You're looking right at the receiver. They've called the play to that receiver. You have to throw it away, scramble around, do whatever else you want with it. But the ball cannot go there.
But he's not a throwaway quarterback. He tries to force things, doesn't he? He tries to do it all himself.
Part of the problem that he has, yes.
Roll's interception, second turnover of the game, 14th turnover for the Baltimore defense. They're plus 10 this year, tied with Chicago. Only St. Louis plus 12, a better turnover margin in the league. This throw's nearly a turnover the other way. A penalty marker is in as Al Wilson couldn't hang on to the interception. John Lynch and company are saying there was a deflection which would negate the interception, and I believe that's going to be the call here.
There's no foul on the play for defensive pass interference. The ball is kicked. The second down.
Negate the penalty, not the pick, obviously.
Plummer is starting off in the worst possible way for these fans who feel the omnipresent shadow of John Elway all the time. You throw an interception like that, he becomes, on some level, they either want Jay Cutler or they want to go back to John Elway. But no matter how many games Plummer has won for them, it's not enough for these fans. He's not Elway, and he may not be Cutler at some point.
Second and 10, Jamal Lewis left side. Kennard Lang showed quick speed off the end there.
The other thing, Tony, is when you have defenses that are this good, turnovers, field position, punting, field goals, they all take on more importance in a game. When you know you're not going to gash some defense, you're probably going to not get a big play. So you really have to watch what you do with the football. The Broncos have not done a very good job. Tatum Bell puts one on the ground. Jake just makes a terrible throw to give the Ravens the ball back.
22 plays, 52 yards. Third down. And McNair, for the second time, runs to get a first down. This one takes him out across the 47-yard line. Al Wilson to tackle, a gain of 9.
Mike, he cannot like this. He'll do it, but he would have his druthers. He'd rather throw the football. You can't make your living running with the football. Give Denver a lot of credit. Nowhere to go. He looks to his right. He comes back. Those linebackers are so quick, and he doesn't want to take hits either. Al Wilson comes up and gets him on the ground. But another crucial first down. He did it last week against San Diego. Picked up a crucial down on their fourth quarter drive.
You see McNair, known for running in his early days, has become more of a pocket passer. Injuries contributing to that as well over time in Tennessee. Stretching it to the left with Jamal Lewis. He's across midfield. Taken to the sideline by Ian Gold at the 49-yard line.
Injuries contribute to that. I would suggest intellect contributes to that too, because at some point you say to yourself, why am I getting crushed here? Let me stand back there and get rid of the ball.
We talk about the speed of the Denver Broncos. Watch how many guys get to the ball. The play is going to be run up top. The play's going that way, okay? Watch what happens. Look at the speed. Everybody is on that side except one to the numbers. That's what you're dealing with trying to run outside, as well as a lot of mud.
Yeah, Lynch came around the play, and Al Wilson coming across as well. Mike Anderson, the former Bronco, is in the game, and the first down to the 40-yard line as he has a nice meeting with Nick Ferguson. But it is a first down for Anderson, who gained 1,000 yards here last year with the Broncos, but the decision not to bring him back via free agency, and he moved to Baltimore. First quarter, hard-hitting, low-scoring, in the cold rain in Denver. In the books, 3-0 Ravens.
I think every player has to find the things that help their game. I don't eat red meat, for example, while I play.
I have one motto: don't do anything stupid.
I'm a Buddhist, so I meditate. Lately, I've been wearing my brother's clothes.
The other thing that I like to do is unpack my bag. Anytime I don't unpack my bag the night before a tournament, I'm always out the next day. I'm gone. long walk.
One ritual I've done at the World Series only is I've never shaved.
Over the years, I've always done, like, crossword puzzles and stuff.
No drinking or partying the night before.
Sorry.
I used to have a regiment. Now I just get up, take my medication, and pray to God I play good that day.
No! Why do I get deserveless?
Hey, Maria.
Hey, Stu, what's up?
A supplier gave me these, and I figured, you know, if anybody could use them, you could, right?
Yeah, so giant worms can spring into my face. Nice try.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on, Maria. I was just trying to be thoughtful. You know what? Forget it. Whatever.
I'm so sorry, Stu.
Yeah, I mean...
I just thought... You're evil.
Can I get that can back?
Six active coaches in the National Football League have won the Super Bowl. Two of them here tonight. Mike Shanahan, of course, with John Elway in '97 and '98. Super Bowls 31 and 32. And then skip forward to Brian Billick winning 32 and 33 with Shanahan. Skip forward to Billick winning Super Bowl 35, wrapping up the 2000 season. And I'm just stung by the irony of both of those guys made their name with the offensive coordinator titles, the offensive genius tag put on them when Billick led that great Minnesota Vikings season, most points an offense has ever scored in the NFL. And his Super Bowl team, as we know, won with defense. And this is smelling like that kind of team. I know it's early. I know they haven't played a bunch of people, but these guys are getting it done with defense.
The difference is, in Steve McNair, they have a quarterback who they're willing to do a little bit more with than they did with Trent Dilfer. Although Trent did an excellent job getting that ring, they want to spread it out even a little bit more with McNair.
3-0 as we start the second quarter in Denver. Michelle Tafoya, Susie Culver on the soggy sideline. Mike Tirico, Tony Kornheiser, Joe Theismann in the booth. Glad you're with us on Monday Night Football. First down for the Ravens, and McNair completes it for about 7 yards. Wilcox will not go down, and finally 4 people take him down. The gain will be 7.
That pass by McNair illustrates the point I'm about to make, that Brian Billick is the most fortunate human being in the NFL today. He did not lose his job last year, but the owner and the general manager put him on notice at the end of the year that they wanted some changes. They wanted a different direction. They were dissatisfied with the way things were going. And Brian Billick would be the first to admit that the seat he was on was hot. But when Steve McNair dropped into his lap, in his words, a bona fide guy, no questions asked, that helps lead to 4-0, and now he is safe and happy.
Heavy formation, nationwide receiver. The run for Anderson, and the former Broncos met by his old teammate, Al Wilson. Loss of a couple.
But, Tony, it's still early in the season. Don't want anything to happen to Steve McNair. Let's say he does go down. A lot of times he's been hurt. They go back to Kyle Bowler. Is Brian right back in the same scenario?
No,
wondering?
I don't know. He's right now sitting at 4-0. Okay, so he's not sitting at 1-3 or anything like that. He's sitting at 4-0 with a quarterback he likes a lot. If he has to go to Bowler, Bowler was a starter for 3 years, wasn't he? 2 or 3 years. Yeah. But McNair is his guy, and McNair has changed the face of the Baltimore franchise. He's given it an offense.
And a penalty marker here. Looks like we'll have 3rd and 9. You can see by Gerald Warren slipping. It continues to be very slick on the field.
Full start, 60, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
You talked about Kyle Bowler being the latest of the guys that Brian Billick has had as starting quarterbacks during his tenure as Ravens head coach.
Look at all these. Some of them hand-picked. Scott Mitchell hand-picked. Elvis Gerback hand-picked. Kyle Bowler obviously hand-picked. The most successful quarterback he has had is Trent Dilfer. Won a Super Bowl and then left the team. Brian Billick with the reputation well-earned as a quarterback genius, as you said before, Mike, but hasn't had luck at that position with this team. The luck he's had is defense.
And some great defensive coordinators, including Marvin Lewis.
Mike Nolan.
Now the head coach in San Francisco. Pressure on, high throw, incomplete. Good pressure by Denver, forced it to come out quicker than he wanted, and throwing at Champ Bailey with Demetrius Williams, the intended receiver.
Denver proving that they can play defense also. Another good stop. This one does not allow Baltimore to get into range where they could even attempt a field goal. Sooner or later, Denver's offense is going to have to stop messing up things and give this defense a little bit of a break, too.
Sam Cook kicks. His poor return unit made a poor decision. Darren Williams caught one inside the 5 last week. He didn't leave the 10-yard line there, and Cook is able to help it inside the 3 and down at the 2-yard line. So 98 for Plummer and the Denver offense to go. They've only run 6 plays and turned it over twice.
October 9, and on this day in 1993, top Australian jockey Ken Russell died after being critically injured in a fall at Rosehill Racecourse in Sydney. 42-year-old Russell was one of Sydney's leading jockeys and had ridden more than 100 winners. October 9 was also the day basketball superstar Charles Barkley collapsed during the Phoenix Suns team training camp when his legs went numb. Barkley fell to the floor during sprint training and stayed there for 30 minutes before teammates helped him to the locker room. Also on this day, Australia's Michael Klim broke the 100 metres butterfly world record, coming home in a time of 52.15 seconds. And Swedish golfer Annika Sorenstam, who in 2003 became the first woman in 58 years to compete in a PGA Tour event, celebrates her birthday on this day, October 9.
The road to the World Series is full of obstacles, but no one said it would be easy. Now, 2 teams face each other for a ticket to the Fall Classic, the American League Championship Series, Tuesday night, live on ESPN.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Hummer, like nothing else. UPS, what can Brown do for you? Walmart, always low prices, always. And HDTV, powered by DLP. It's amazing. It's the mirrors.
Bronco fans all over this Rocky Mountain region, including here in Billings, Montana, 550 miles to the north. A lot of these folks make the trip on Bronco home games. 550 miles just to come to a game. Pretty sweet. Gives you an idea of the regional pull that the Broncos have had since their AFL existence.
Go play action and take a shot.
6 plays, 9 yards for Plummer out of the gate. It's a straight drop back and incomplete. Rod Smith was over there. Bart Scott was just hanging with him. So how good was that Baltimore defense in the first quarter? You think just those 9 yards gained. They also come up with a couple of turnovers and allow 1 first down. The 9 yards allowed in the first quarter equals the low for a Mike Shanahan Broncos team in the first quarter.
Take a look at these other rushing stats. Tampa, they gave up 26 yards. Oakland, they gave up 39. Cleveland, they gave up 38. Not going to get a lot of yards on this defense.
The hand straight ahead to the fullback, Kyle Johnson, and he's only going to get to the 4-yard line. Ray Lewis, first one up off the ball carrier.
The offensive line of the Denver Broncos is small. They're the smallest in the league. They're built for speed and lateral movement. Now they're up against a defense that can match them in speed and is even bigger. That's why it's going to be so tough to get the zone blocking schemes done.
Shanahan looked like he was searching for a play just then in the ring.
David Kirkus, 3rd receiver in the game, top of your screen. Ravens showing a lot of different stuff. They'll run to that left side where Kirkus was lined up and get the first down with Tatum Bell across the 20 and to the 24-yard line. Ed Reed the tackle.
Denver needed this bad. They needed some kind of an offensive lift so that they can get into their normal progression. Good blocking outside. You can get the Ravens to run around and create opportunities for the offense where you almost don't have to block anybody. They run themselves out of position. It's the way the gambling defenses go.
2 100-yard games helping Bell's numbers. Had 123 against New England on a career-high 27 carries. He's trying to prove he can be that every down back. And the 3rd-year player, Bell, gets another first down. And a gain of a dozen out to the 34-yard line. One thing Tatum Bell labeled himself as when he was spelling Mike Anderson last year, home run hitter. if you take a minimum of 300 carries over the last 2+ seasons, Tatum Bell's yards per carry at 5.3 is the best in the NFL. Again, the sample is smaller than Larry Johnson, Tiki Barber, or Sean Alexander, but that tells you the label that Bell was carrying. Change of pace, big play runner.
Now he gets to be a change of pace lots of time.
And can he do it? That's what Mike Shanahan wanted to find out as he didn't give him the job right out of camp. He goes to the 39. Michelle, that was one of the issues coming in with Tatum Bell.
No question. And that fumble, too, was an issue early in this game on Denver's opening drive. Right after Tatum Bell fumbled the football, he ran up and down the bench, the offensive bench, and pointed to his chest just saying, my bad, to every single guy on the offense. He really wanted to take responsibility for that mistake. But right after that, Jake Plummer went to him, patted him hard on the shoulder pads, and said, keep your head in this game.
He just carried 3 times for 34 yards, comes to the bench for a blow. Mike Bell, the rookie, is in, and that pass is nearly intercepted, and Terrell Suggs was almost going the other way with a pick 6.
But T. Sizzle, who is Terrell, I love
as you like to call him, Joey's T.
My good friend.
Yeah.
I mean, he just gets everywhere. We've seen him force the fumble, gets his hands up. The versatility that he has, he's listed as a defensive end, but he has such great athletic ability to get out into coverage. He's 260 and can drop and run like anybody.
I know I speak for all Americans. We would love to see you with a T-Sizzle necklace at the next game. A big gold T-Sizzle necklace for you.
Diamonds, Tony. Not gold, diamonds.
Brandon Marshall comes in to make it 4 receivers here on 3rd down. And Plummer throwing for David Kirkus. McAllister knocks it down and incomplete. Kirkus, who, after he didn't make the Lions last year, was working in a Subway shop in Howell, Michigan, making sandwiches 25 hours a week to make money.
Really?
So he could work on his football. He's done a good job, become the 3rd receiver, but working against McAllister, one of the best in the league here.
So Subway he was a Subway artist, because they're sandwich artists, right, if I get that correctly.
He's Subway guy.
That's fabulous.
This guy's been an artist on defense. Big 7-year, $55 million deal. McAllister trying to pick up the picks. He only had 1 last year for that key fumble recovery in the first half. Paul Ernster is the punter. He's part of a story. He might not be with this team tomorrow. Todd Sarabrun is under suspension. It ends tomorrow. Ernster might be kicking for his job. Had a nice kick there that was returned by B.J. Sams to the 21. Kick was 54 yards. When we come back, man was in a coma on TV last night. James Denton from Desperate Housewives joins us in the booth. What will Tony ask him when you come back?
Labelled the Black Bradman, George Headley was one of the Caribbean's first great pre-war batsmen and was regarded a hero in his home of Jamaica. His brilliance at Test level was immediate, scoring 176 on his debut against England and saving the final match by hitting 223. In 1939, he became the first to score a century in each innings of a Test at Lord's and averaged over 60 with the bat in a career spanning 22 Tests, scoring 10 of the first 14 Test centuries made by a West Indian batsman. It is a measure of his status in the West Indies that in response to the Black Bradman comparison, many counterclaimed that the great Don Bradman was a white George Headley. Don't miss the series, The Legends of Cricket, on ESPN.
Back in Denver, just a hair past 1/3 of the way through the game. And the defensive struggle we expected between two teams that have been very stingy. Ray Lewis's club has turned Jake Plummer and the Broncos over twice. It led to the only points of the game, a Matt Stover field goal. Baltimore taking over from its own 21. And Steve McNair, just a little jump pass to Musa Smith, who gets out to the 25-yard line. James Denton plays Mike Delfino on Desperate Housewives and joins us here in the booth. And those of you who watch Desperate Housewives, you may know that this man was in a coma up until last night and came out of it on the show, so we're glad that you've at least made it.
Just in time to be here.
Is that a good career move to be in a coma on a hot series?
It's playing it very safe. You can't do anything stupid and you can't really look bad. So it's they found a way to utilize my talent.
Yeah, that's good to know. After this play, we have more coma questions.
Oh, I'm sure you do, Tony.
2nd and 6. And Musa Smith goes right side. John Lynch with a big hit on him, but Smith keeps it going to make it 3rd and a yard.
We will stay with the topic. I've often wondered about this. When your character's in a coma, does your facial hair still grow? I notice you have a little right now. How does that work out when you're in that coma?
You know, the facial hair thing has been a big deal for the character, but they had Terry Hatcher shaving me while I was in the coma, so that was a pretty good gig. But it's hard to stay still for that, if you know what I mean. She did a great job. She hacked me up a little bit, but that was part of the bit.
I have to ask this. I'm under the impression that people watch this show for the hot women. Who exactly is watching for you? Have I missed something?
I'm hurt. I'm crushed. I thought it was you. But you know, we don't fool anybody. It's called Desperate Housewives for a reason.
Brian Billick of the Ravens are going to take a timeout here before the 3rd one. Brian hot at the officials for not getting his attention. James, you going to come back with us when we come back.
Hey, we have fun here, man.
There's quite a few personalities out there.
Smile.
You never know who you're gonna run into.
Oh, my God. People I enjoy playing with.
Yum, yum. Yum, yum.
The most fun.
The Unabomber?
I like these handrails. They're very cushiony.
Mike Matusow is a lot of fun to play with, especially once you get his sense of humor.
I got big. You got little.
Some players have a certain personality. They can laugh.
There's people who want to be friendly, and there's people who are angling.
From now on, you get the silent treatment.
And I like the table to feel like there's a party atmosphere. Because I think people make worse decisions.
The least fun person to play with is probably Phil Hellmuth.
Think there's something wrong with him?
Yes, baby, a pot.
I mean, he's a mental case.
No professional would raise me there. I don't get to play with Phil Hellmuth much anymore because he's hardly ever at the final table. Oh!
Relief here, man.
None.
Baltimore came into Denver last year, December 11th. Kyle Bowler turns it over 3 times. Broncos won that game 12-10 on their way to the big season as the Ravens ended up 6-10 and missing out on the play.
Means the defenses were good last year,
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Nothing's changed.
That's what I was thinking. We've seen this movie already. Out of the Ravens called timeout, 3rd and a yard. And they go play action, and Todd Heap got behind the linebacker Wilson, but couldn't hang on.
Steve McNair had a tremendous opportunity. Terrific call by Jim Fossil, their offensive coordinator. If he can get the ball out a little bit quicker, he doesn't allow Al Wilson to catch up. Good play action. Heap releases. Now, get it up. He's clean. Underthrows him. Al Wilson does a terrific job of just getting in the way enough to push him away from the ball. Steve knows he had an opportunity to get away from him.
And Sam Cook will punt it. Darren Williams fields the 45-yard punt. Gets a good block. The gunner was taken out to his left. He brings it to the right. Picks up more blocks. And Williams hit by the punter Cook and then brought down at the 42-yard line. Man, did they need a big return. Haven't had one all year. And finally get it from Darren Williams. 33 on the takeback.
What Darren Williams shows every punt returner is you don't have to do it with speed. Come out, set up, let the block set up, take your time. Now use your speed to accelerate and get to the wall. An excellent job of setting up the return by the return man. Jake loves it. Give me a shot.
So in a game where field position is essential, Darren Williams gives it to the Broncos as they start in Baltimore territory for the first time. And a run by Bell takes him over to the 40. We continue with James Denton from Desperate Housewives.
Here's a chance for me to get in trouble. I'm going to ask you a question that I think most guys watching would want to know.
Oh, no.
I know there are a lot of hot women on that show. I'd like you to rate them in order of the ones you'd like to sleep with.
You're absolutely out of your mind.
Oh, come on.
Not only would I not be able to go home to my wife, I'd get fired from the show, too.
Well,
you
Terry
can't afford
Hatcher
to alienate anybody.
Terry Hatcher is the one who your character is with in
Well,
the show, right?
She has been, but she happens to not be around when I come out of the coma, and
Also,
that
wait
doesn't
a
go
second.
over well.
Are you going? Are you going someplace else?
Could
Maybe.
be. Very well could be.
Second down after the 3-yard run by Bell. Right back to Tatum. Gallops through across the 30 for a first down to the 27-yard line.
What you want to do when you have a defense that reacts to every movement is you want to create counter moves. This time you'll see the handoff and then the fake reverse. What it'll do on the left side, it just freezes the defense long enough to allow Ray Lewis to have to overrun. The hesitation just gets him out of position, and he can't get back to make the play.
Tatum Bell getting a decent night going against the Ravens. One big run that got him out of the shadow of the goalpost before. Now, a half dozen carries for 51 yards. He goes right back to the right, just a yard there. We're going to see James Denton on ESPN as the voice of new series Primal Quest. Tell us what it's all about.
Well, it's the world's toughest race is what they call it. These 90 teams of 4 people, 1 woman and 3 men, go 450 miles across the desert. They run, they kayak, they bike. It's climbing.
They kayak across the desert?
They burn 15,000 calories a day. Wow. They kayak when they get to the river.
Oh, okay.
The kayaking across the desert is the really brutal part because it's real slow going, and they burn a lot of calories. But
maybe we can send Tony on that show for a few weeks.
Better than flying, right, Tony?
Much better.
To Tatum Bell, left side. Cannot get away from that Ravens defense. James, thanks for coming up. Great having you with us.
Absolutely. And Tony, my feelings aren't hurt. I realize you're long asleep when we're on the air.
Most of the time I'm asleep. Look, good luck getting out of the coma. Good luck with one of the other housewives if it works out for you.
Yeah, thanks,
Okay.
guys.
All right, James Denton
doing a great job. Congratulations.
Thank
Tony's
you. Thank
fantasy.
you. James Denton joining us here in Denver after the bell run. We have 3rd and 7 coming up, and from here, the Broncos are in 43-yard field goal range with Jason Elam. And Joe, you got to pay attention to that every opportunity to score in this game. It's setting up that way.
Well, the Broncos, you know, they got the big lift from the return. Their running game is back. That's who they are. It's their identity. Now Jake has to be careful that he doesn't create a situation where you lose yards.
No throws to Rod Smith yet. Goes to the other side toward Kirkus, who was covered by McAllister, and it's 4th down.
Jake Plummer has been off. He tried to throw a hitch coming out from the goal line. Rod Smith went one way, the ball went the other. This time Kirkus runs a slant. It's way behind him. Watched him in practice on Saturday. Jake did not look this bad throwing the football.
But it wasn't raining on Saturday.
But that
has no effect at all? It has to have some.
It doesn't look like it. The grip looks good. It's just the position of the ball has been in bad places.
No kicker has handled more points for his team in NFL history than Jason Elam from 43 to square the game at 3. So on a difficult weather night for handling the ball, Elam squares it at 3.
Oh, the crystal ball.
Oh, very well done, sir.
And then at the 4th, another birdie try, another long putt. He said afterwards, if you had a 12, 13, 14 footer and you didn't hit it, you felt like an idiot because the greens are so good.
2nd and 11. And Grossman's going to go deep. And that pass is perfectly thrown to Berrien for the touchdown.
That was a perfect throw. I mean, that was a thing of beauty.
Anyway, that's the control room. A lot of chaos there, but it all looks good when it comes out in the show, actually, thanks to those people. Then over here in the digital center is our highlight screening area. So that's where we get all the games that are played that night, down in a 90-second or 2-minute clips or whatever you're going to see on SportsCenter every night. This hallway, it runs between, you know, both rooms. You know, if you want to get from the control room to the screening, then this is the hallway you'd take. Questions or anything? I can answer whatever you want about the place. Yeah, nothing?
It will be warmer next Monday night in Arizona, where the undefeated Chicago Bears, led by Rex Grossman, will take on Matt Leinart, Edgerrin James, and the Arizona Cardinals. That's 8:30 Eastern, of course, Monday Night Countdown before that at 7 Eastern. But Brian Urlacher and that monsters of the Midway circa 06 added with the Big Bears offense. Most points per game in the NFL, fewest points allowed per game in the NFL. The last team to be 5-0 and lead in points scored per game, points allowed per game, the 1964 Buffalo Bills, 42 years ago.
The 72 Dolphins better start to get scared. Nick Bonacani, I'm putting you on alert.
Really, Joe?
Yep. Really?
E.J. Sams fields the hop, tries the return. He's stopped at the 25-yard line. Dominique Foxworth made that first play. Of course, that's the only team to go all the way through undefeated. Chicago's going to be favored to go at least 8-0. Then they have to go to the Giants, Jets, and Patriots in 3 weeks.
And they had no offense last year at all, and Joe's got them in the Super Bowl going undefeated.
All right, here's Tony's email. Number one, who's more at fault if the Ravens lose tonight, T.O. or A-Rod?
I love that email. I think that's so funny. Terrell Owens is justifiably blamed for almost everything that happens in the world. Alex Rodriguez is taking more in my mind, than his fair share. I know he had a terrible playoff series, but to think you'd be better off getting rid of him strikes me as nuts.
First down, McNair from the 25. Complete to a guy who's thrown to a lot in his career, Derek Mason. They were together in Tennessee. First down gain of 13 yards.
Derek Mason, when everybody went home in June and July to go on vacation after camps were over, before you came to training camp, and Steve McNair signed with the Baltimore Ravens, he stayed around to get caught up with them, to be able to spend some time catching footballs from them again. Probably the happiest guy on the Ravens besides Brian Billick.
Brian Billick was the happiest guy.
Derek Mason.
Bet.
Those two guys were together with the Titans 97 through 2004. Pressure on McNair. Lynch's blitz was picked up, but no time to set in front of Jamal Lewis. The pass incomplete.
They got Lynch, but they didn't get Ian Gold, the outside linebacker. That's the way Denver has to attack this offense. Just put so much pressure on Steve. He's going to run. He's going to run up inside. He's not going to beat you on the outside. So you can bring people. Put one up the middle in his face and let the outside guys go after him.
I love the contrast in defenses. There's a fierceness of Baltimore and a fleetness to Denver, especially those three linebackers. They just run all over. And there's John Lynch with a hit on Jamal Lewis. And we mentioned he is wired for sound on Monday night. Here's some of the things he's been talking about already.
Hey, we got to match them in the turnover game. They got one, we got none. Let's get after this. We either got to get two. We got to get a turnover or get the ball back right here. Good field position. Let's go. Let's go. Dominate on three. 1, 2, 3.
It's a Stanford education.
John,
two, not one.
No matter what you say in the huddle, somebody's going to correct you.
7-time Pro Bowlers continuing the great safety tradition here. Steve Atwater, Dennis Smith. It's the back end of his career, but he can still bring it. Third down. They back out and rush 4. McNair dumps it out. Chance for the first down by Musa Smith. What a job as McNair absorbed the hit, and it is right at the line for a first down.
Part of the reason we haven't seen the production out of Jamal Lewis this year is because of Musa Smith. He was hurt all last year. He's got some speed back, gives him some versatility catching the ball. McNair is the kind of a guy who can take hits, but running, getting hit, standing in the pocket, getting hit, wears on you.
Yeah, but one of the weaknesses that's said of Baltimore is that the offensive line permits him to be hit too often. Not necessarily sacked, hit too often.
And it happens to guys in the pocket. If you're a pocket quarterback, you're going to get hit a lot.
Demetri Veal made that hit. It is still a first down, and here goes Lewis sliding forward to the 45, a gain of 7 as we get toward the 2-minute warning here.
You think one touchdown will win this?
Could be none.
7 points. Yes, a 7-point lead.
That's
will be
it?
very, very difficult to overcome in this game.
Turn out the lights at a 7-point lead?
Don't turn it out because you have the turnover factor. But 7 points will be difficult.
It's the one thing that I hold in mind. It's a slick field. One guy on an island could fall and allow a big play to happen. 3-3, 2-minute warning in Colorado.
October 9, and on this day in 1993, top Australian jockey Ken Russell died after being critically injured in a fall at Rosehill Racecourse in Sydney. 42-year-old Russell was one of Sydney's leading jockeys and had ridden more than 100 winners. October 9 was also the day basketball superstar Charles Barkley collapsed during the Phoenix Suns team training camp when his legs went numb. Barkley fell to the floor during sprint training and stayed there for 30 minutes before teammates helped him to the locker room. Also on this day, Australia's Michael Klim broke the 100 metres butterfly world record, coming home in a time of 52.15 seconds. And Swedish golfer Annika Sorenstam, who in 2003 became the first woman in 58 years to compete in a PGA Tour event, celebrates her birthday on this day, October 9.
What's up, John? Oh, sorry, Stan. I told Stuart I'd save that for him.
Excuse me, is anyone sitting here?
I'm sorry, I'm actually, no. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Undeterred by the elements, Chris Berman, Steve Young, Michael Irvin, Tom Jackson, standing by for the Lexus halftime show from here at Invesco Field at Mile High. Of full post-game coverage of the Yankees fiasco. They're going to talk about Joe Torre here at halftime. Also, fastest 3 minutes, full reaction to all the big plays and big moments from yesterday. Jacked up as well. The #1 jacked up hit coming up on the Lexus halftime show.
We got ourselves a jacked up in this one. Mike Anderson got jacked up by Nick Ferguson.
Ravens have 2 timeouts remaining. Have it at 2nd and 2 from the 45.